which means it's a competitive seat. That's why the NRCC has put us on its targets list. That's why you've heard a lot of, there's been a lot of coverage on this race, all the districts to come out and support Abel. For example, in Santa Barbara County, there's 318 precincts. Now, we need to get 3 extra votes per precinct compared to what we had in previous elections. What does that mean? What I'm saying is that by doing that, we'll gain an extra 1,000 votes. So we have a precinct analysis, so we know if you live in this precinct that covers this area, that in past elections, Abel's gotten, let's say, 500 votes. We want to get 500 to 3. We want to get 515. We want to increase our turnout. And those are things you can help us do. Now, one of the ways to help us get people involved in the campaign, which is something you can do when you leave today, if you're online and you have a Facebook page, share our page with all your friends. We are going to start having yard signs delivered in about the next week. If you want a yard sign, request a yard sign. We want everyone who wants a yard sign to have a yard sign. But more importantly, we want to increase that presence more in southern Santa Barbara County.
Can we ask a question?
Yeah.
Is there, on the yard signs, is there a lead time that feels good in terms of how far before the June election that we should get those yard signs up before they get torn down?
Yeah, in most precincts, most counties, most cities, most jurisdictions, there are sign posting rules. And typically they're the 90, 60, 30 days. And what does that mean? If you're in a county-wide area, it's 90 days. You have friends on Facebook, you have friends that you know in your personal Rolodex, call them up, get them to support Abel, ask them if they'll post a sign. That's what will do us the most good. So. And other things that you can do, you can also, or friends of yours that you know that love to volunteer, that should be volunteering in our campaign, please provide us their names and their information, their names, their phone numbers, emails, so we can contact them. And also, if you could do it on our behalf, contact them as well, and urge them to get involved in this campaign. Because we're going to win this race, we're going to win it with grassroots support and grassroots help. Thank you very much. Abel?
Thank you, Brendan. And thank you all for coming out today. It's great to see all of you, I know most of you. I just want to say that this is a very, very important race for our country. There's a lot of folks that still don't understand what the new district really is. And that's been a big challenge for my campaign. The district is no longer what it used to be, which we call the Ribbon of Shame, which started up at the Monterey County line and it worked its way all the way down to the Los Angeles County line. That district was not competitive. That district was gerrymandered. It was gerrymandered so one person could win that district, and so one person could go to Washington and just do what Washington wanted them to do. That has changed. You, the people of California, passed an initiative that had a citizens commission to draw the lines. Back in 2000, politicians in California paid a person to draw their own districts. They paid $20,000 to get a district that you could win, and it was easy to win that district. That's what was wrong with politics. That's what was wrong with governing California, because no one was accountable to anyone. And when you have politicians drawing their own lines for themselves, you can just imagine what those districts look like. And I'm here to tell you that at the end of the day, they were safe for everybody. It wasn't just safe for one party or the other. Both parties had safe seats. And when you have safe seats like that, there was zero competition. And when there's zero competition, you don't get a government that talks to the people on a daily basis. So we changed that. You changed that. So now we have a district that is competitive. And just so you can put this in your mind, prior to the Citizens Commission redistricting districts in California, we only had one competitive race over a 15-year period in California. And that was a district that was by a congressman named Congressman Richard Pombo. that district switched to a Democrat. 1 in 15 years. Now California is in play with about 6 or 7 or maybe 8 congressional districts. Let me share something with you. Competition is good. Competition makes politicians be accountable to the people. So if you can let your friends know and let other folks know that this is a new district and this is one that we can win. Now, if you've been in the area for a long, long time, let me just share this with you. This is the old Congressman Bob Lagomarsino district. It really is the district. And then after Congressman Bob Lagomarsino, if you recall, we had Congressman Michael Huffington. And then after Congressman Michael Huffington, we had Congresswoman Andrea Seascrag. And all I can say is that this is a district we can win. And we just need to be organized, we need to be focused, and we need to work hard. And if we do that, we're going to win this district. And and you can be confident that I'm going to work very, very hard. Because I want to have a celebration to bring back our Congresswoman from Washington and let her retire in Santa Barbara County. Because we need to send some people back to Washington that are not going to sit in the back and let party bosses tell him or her how to vote. We need people to go back there and make the tough decisions and start governing America. We need to lift the hearts and the minds of the people of California and the people of our country. Because right now, we are just depressed. And we're depressed because we wake up in the morning and we watch the news and you hear home closures, you hear companies can't make payroll, companies can't get loans, we hear marriages breaking up, we hear families. I just can go on and on and on. And why? Because there's no confidence. There's just no confidence in government. So all these small family businesses that to me are the economic stability of our economy need to have some confidence. And once there's confidence, I can tell you this. I've seen America come back strong. When I was in Sacramento, we had tough times in the 90s and confidence got better and we came back strong. But we had a government in place that believed that spending more than was coming in was the right thing to do, and you know what happened. I'm a farmer. And on the farm we have reservoirs. And when you have a 5-inch pipeline coming in of water and you have a 10-inch pipeline going out, you're never going to fill it up. It's always going to be empty. And that's what's happening in Washington today. The resources are coming in, but Washington's spending way too much money. And guess what? Someone has to pay. And the people that are going to pay are the taxpayers. And you have to remember that 46% of Americans don't pay. So as we move forward, we have to lift the hearts and minds of these people that are the job creators. And I believe that sending a new person to Washington, not just myself, a lot of other folks, we can start rebuilding on that confidence. And there's a couple of things that we need to do. Number one, we have to start over on health care. There's no certainty for small businesses. So you have this health care law looming over that no one makes decisions to grow their small family businesses in order to create more jobs. Dodd-Frank needs to be repealed. I talk to people that are in the business of Dodd-Frank. They don't know what's in Dodd-Frank. They just say there's so many new burdens on it that it's not good. We need to lower the tax rate. We need to lower the tax rate. What will that do? It'll give us some confidence. We need to lower it, and those other two things that I just talked about, and we need to keep them in place for a while. Because businesses want certainty, and right now, as I go throughout the district, I can tell you this, people are down and they're saying, what's going to happen next? And where do we go from here? And it's something that we just have to change. And we need some optimistic people that have experience, that are willing to control spending, and that are willing to cast the tough votes to govern. That's what needs to happen. And I hope that the people of this district see me as a person that's done that. I believe in my country. I'm America is my country. I'm an American. And it gave my mother and father all the opportunities in the world, and it gave me opportunities, given us all opportunities, and I'm seeing those opportunities slip away, not because we're not great, because there's no confidence in our country. And that's the problem. And I know that we can change it. So I'm asking for you to go out, as Brandon touched on, to go out there and to pick up the phone and call 10 friends. Ask them for a yard sign. Call our campaign. Resources. I hate to say that we need money, but Lois Capps is getting a lot of money. And it's all coming from Washington because they want her back there again. Well, guess what? This district doesn't want someone from Washington. This district wants a local person that's going to care about local people. And I hope that the people will give me that opportunity. I'm ready to go fight for my country, and I'm ready to go fight for the 24th Congressional District. And yes, some of you have not liked how I voted once or twice. And all I can say is that I've always done my best. And I've always done what I thought was the best for the district. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. So, as a congressman, let me just share something with you. I'm going to go back there, and I'm going to fight every day to build this confidence in this great country of ours. So, I'll leave you with this. I've never needed you more. And when I say that I've never needed you more, I've never needed you more from the standpoint of getting out there and telling your friends what this is all about. Because I don't know what's going to happen in November. I really don't. But what I do know is that if we take our country back and we start putting people that care about America instead of caring about Washington, we are going to be on our way. And I feel that with all my heart. I have a beautiful family. I was born and raised in Santa Maria. I have a beautiful family. My wife is from Santa Maria. We are from the Central Coast. We want a better country. We want the same country we had when we were growing up. And right now, my children don't have that. The debt, you can just imagine. $16 trillion. It's 15 point something, but 16 trillion in the next couple of months. And guess who's going to pay for it? The taxpayers. And God forbid interest rates go up. Because if they do, Houston, we have a problem. And it's something we have to be vigilant about. So, thank you for coming out today. I'm passionate. I've got the fire in the valley. I'm going to give it all I got. I've got to tell you that my first quarter report wasn't where I wanted it. I didn't work as hard as I should have. I'm taking the blame for that. But I am working so hard. I'm focused, and I need you behind me. And I need you to get out there and help me in any which way that you can. I promise you this. I'm not going to let you down. And I promise you that I'll never forget whose money government spends. It's the people's money. It's not the politicians' money. And I'll never forget where I come from, the fields of Santa Maria, California. That's where I got my beginning, and that is hard work. I want to take that work ethic back to Washington. So why don't we stick around? I'll answer some of your questions. I'll stick around for a little bit longer, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know Sundays are family days. I just felt that this was a day that we can come together and start the week tomorrow working very, very hard. So thank you so much. I'll stick around for some questions, and let's get out there and let's win. And let's share this new district with everybody. And if there's someone that can beat our local congresswoman, I think you're looking at her. I'm going to give it all I got. Thank you so much.
One of the things that neither you nor Brandon mentioned was the fact that besides just having an 8 or 9 or 10%, maybe 3 or 4% advantage to Democrats in the new district, something like 30% of the people, of the voters, are independents. And if anybody can get those independents that's in the race at the present time, it's you. Chris Mitchell can't come close. The independents are getting yawningly soft about Lois Capps. They don't care that much about her. And it's a huge chunk of the electorate. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to stand up here and say I think Abel should go wishy-washy on some conservative points or anything like that. But you have every asset to take over a good part of that independent vote. And I think all of us should understand that if anybody on the Republican side of the ticket can win this congressional race, it's the man standing up here in front of us. And I think we need to give him every bit of the support that he asked for. The telephone calls, the checks, attending meetings, walking precincts, and whatever else, and yard signs. So anyway, I just want to make that
I
statement.
think that's a very, very good point, Don. The way the district, as Don pointed out, is 1/3 Republican, 1/3 Democrat, and it's 1/3 decline of state and independent. And it is a voting bloc that very much cares and wants what I've been talking about today. They want less spending, they want jobs, they want confidence, and we can do that. So they're not happy with the Affordable Care Act. They're not happy with Dodd-Frank. They're not happy where we're going with corporate rates. They're not happy with this confidence in our country. And I think, Don, I'm communicating with them, and I think that we're going to be very successful come November. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have an office at the Santa Maria Inn. We have an office in Santa Barbara. Love to open up a little office in the Valley, and I'd love to have a little office up in San Luis Obispo. The reason I have not done all my offices at once, I'll be very sincere, I've been trying to keep the spending low because money goes a lot better when you put it into advertising. And when you see what Lois Capps has in money, it's just frightening of how much money is coming in from Washington. And there's no secret. They want to protect their own. And it's going to be really, really a simple election. And I'll tell you why. If you love bank bailouts, and if you love that America lost its credit rating, and you love unemployment at 11%, and you love stimulus that went to other countries, then you know what? You'll have an opportunity to continue to do that. You can have the Congresswoman there. But if you want some real change, and some change that's going to go back to Washington and makes the tough decisions to put our country back on track, I hope you give me this opportunity. And that's going to be the message as we move forward in this campaign. So, thank you, and I'll stick around here and I'll answer some of your questions.
Are you going to the parade?
Yes, I will be in the Elks Parade, and you will be with me, Andy Whiteman. And we're both going to have John Deere's, and I can guarantee that mine's going to be bigger than yours.
Do you have a list of talking points or things maybe Capps had voted on that would differentiate? And
Yes.
say, here's what she voted on. I don't stand for that. I stand for this.
Right, absolutely. Bruce, we will get you some, we will get a list, and that's a very good point. So when you're making the calls to your friends, you can say why and so forth.
Yeah.
I have a question for Mr. Maldonado. You were in the state legislature for a long time, longer than a lot of people, and it was basically no seats changed hands for about a decade. It was every incumbent won re-election. The House of Representatives is 435. The most it's ever been is 437 when Alaska and Hawaii came in, then went back to 435. That number is not sacred. That number is not locked into the Constitution. For the first 120 years, the House grew from about 35 or 40 members up to 435 when the same bank gangster people that brought in the Federal Reserve, which is destroying America today, the same people locked that number in through influence to 435. It's been stuck at 435 since 1912 or so. If you're elected, will you unlock that? Because the Constitution says you're supposed to redistrict so that every 35,000 people have one House rep. Right now, Lois represents 700,000. If you keep here, you represent 700,000. So my question is real simple. A town this size should have 3 House reps at the ratio of 30,000 to 1, which the Constitution says. will you work to change that, unlock that number, no matter how large the house has to get, so that when I want to talk to you, I can get you on the phone, because I couldn't reach you when you were in the assembly. I had to chase you around in meetings to get a question to you, and I think, you know, the good thing about you is you're not a lawyer. That's the best thing. You're not a lawyer. I mean that sincerely. I mean that sincerely. The best part of you is you're not a lawyer. But will you change that number? Will you work to unlock the 435 so the house can grow, so I can actually, people can walk down the street in Santa Maria and go actually talk to a congressman?
Well, first of all, I want to say this. I will be coming home from Washington every weekend. I've been I know that you're not sending me to Washington to go be part of Washington, to stay in Washington, and to grow into Washington leadership. I'm not doing that. I'm going to Washington to be a congressman for the 24th Congressional District. I'm going to come home on the weekends. I'm going to be in this district every weekend and just give you the best representative. On this notion of growing the House of Representatives, right now it's 435. There's 709,000 people per district. And if there's change from the people in the future, then we'll look at it. But at this point in time, to the office that I'm running for, it's the 24th Congressional, 707,000 people, and that's what we're representing. And I can tell you this, I made it a point to answer every letter. I made it a point to go to whatever was needed within my district when I was a mayor, when I was an assembly member, when I was a state senator, and that's not going to change as a congressman. Even though I'm going to be a little farther, you're going to see me here. I'm going back there to represent the 24th. This is a great district with great agriculture, great tourism, great technology. It's got a lot of, it's the most beautiful district in the country, Barry, to be very sincere with you. And I'm going to represent it. So thank you very, very much.